Hey, dude. So it's been a long time since I made a video. I made one when I was talking about, I was just overwhelmed. I was talking about, um, it's just not feeling good. I have bronchitis. My daughter was sick. My baby developed a cough. My hubby got like a stomach bug or something. So, like, mentally, it was like just overwhelmed, breaking down a bit. But I'm better. I changed my hairstyle. I was inspired by Kelly Rowland, like no lie. So I seen her movie on Netflix. It's okay. Like I like the scenery or the cinematography. Like I like the artistry of it. Okay. I like Kelly Rowland. I think that she's a better actress than Beyonce. Don't, like attack little Rhodia. But anyway, so I'm moving. I'm moving out of my relative's house. I think I explained this in one video, but we're going to go into it a little bit more deeper because, I've been through a lot. Like, my ex-husband put me through a lot. I'm not going to go into detail about it. We have a daughter together, but I found someone who is attracted to me, loves me, faithful, good to me. And also, I felt comfortable with just going forward and trying to be, like, to have this whole dynamic again, have a relationship again, and doing it. When my dad and other family members that I was close to and been close to were saying, this is a really good man. I never had any doubt about it, but I do have PTSD. I have anxiety. I've been through a lot. And I'm not the only person who's gone through it. I'm not the only woman that's gone through, that's been divorced, that's had to kind of like pick up a lot of pieces, that's been lied to, that settled for someone that's not the best quality out of insecurity, So, but yeah, like he's a part of a fraternity that values family and also a Christian man. And while my spirituality, I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritualist. I am a Buddhist, so our belief systems is different. I am very happy to have someone who has a similar, obviously, foundation. I was raised Methodist and who does belong to an organization that values not just family but community. So, like, I was told by my father, which I've already known this, but just getting that confirmation did make it a little bit easier for me to move forward with being with him and having a blended family, which sometimes can be scary. But he, my dad told me, like, this man is a part of something that is really great. And these men who are part of his fraternity, they value family. They would, he wouldn't neglect you, and he would definitely, make an honest woman of you, which is, what I want. I want a man to step up and, all these things. And so just hearing my dad and like just knowing what I know, like that's why I move forward so fast. Okay. For the people that have followed me for some time on YouTube, I've had this channel for a long time. This has been my vlog. So that's why. I've deleted a lot of content, re-uploaded content. It is what it is. It's a natural vlog. I think that is actually a bit normal, especially when you go through transitions. But I don't think it should be extreme. I think that it's understandable if you you move somewhere different, you start a new lifestyle, new religion, new job, you go through a divorce, you start with another relationship, you have a blended family, or you adopt, or you move across the country, or you get sick and you get better. Like these transitions in life call for you cleansing all social media, changing everything, starting from scratch. I've started from scratch on social media, in my own personal life, with work, with my house, like moving out the house, quitting my job, finding new work, changing my belief system, going from eating meat to not eating meat, fasting for 30 days, losing a lot of weight, having a child, having a husband again, blending my family, having to go through therapy, dealing with my anxiety, dealing with people in the past. I've dealt with some really toxic, narcissistic women that I've worked with in the past that people have targeted me, which is unfortunate, but we live in a dark world. But having to go through all those things, it's made me a very vigilant, strong person, but it's also made me a person that doesn't like equate my value and my quality of being to how much money I make or where I work, where I live, what materialistic things I have, rather than am I of sound mind? Am I bringing peace into my home? Am I a likable person? Am I a lovable person? Can I do quality work? Can I give quality advice? Am I a great artist? Like, these are the things that I attribute my value to. It used to be very superficial in the past, but that had a lot to do with, I think it just has a lot to do with maturity in our culture. Okay, and this is a non-alcoholic drink that I absolutely love, and I'm not really good at making non-alcoholic drinks, but I need to get good at it. Okay, I'm not really good at making fancy drinks because I don't have patience. Okay, like I have no patience, but this is delicious. So just give me a moment. For the 3 or 2 or 4 or 5 or 6 views, or maybe 100 views that I get on this video, I've had a very complicated relationship with my mom, but I've had a decent relationship. Like, we are very different. She's type A, hardworking, type 3 energy. I'm more like, I'm very like actually happy-go-lucky, and she is too, but I'm not pushy. I kind of just lay back and just roll around, where she's like, no, it's time to work, it's time to do this. So energy types are different. She's more fast-moving. I'm not. I'm the total opposite. Drag my feet. You got to pull me out the house type person. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Everybody's different, but anyway, one thing that she taught me in my life that is very important is to like how to reinvent myself, how to survive falling out, like to not let something that is removed out of your life, or someone that is removed from your life, or whatever is taken from you, whatever lack you have, to not let it like destroy you and be able to rebuild. Like, that's a very strong quality, and I don't think many people have it. I used to be like, I don't know. In my experience, 33 years of life, I don't think many people in my generation can have it. It's just like the end of the world when things fall apart for so many people. And I'm just thinking, like, been there, done that, been through that. So that's a good quality to have. I know that there's a stereotype when it comes to women, like, to have been through things. To some people, it's a bit intimidating when it comes to the double standards when it comes to gender, but I think that it's all a matter of like how you carry yourself. And I am transitioning into a Sigma woman, which I'm very happy about. I used to be Omega. So you can do that if you even follow or believe in those things, okay? Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I take whatever will resonate and I make it work, okay? Unless it's completely idiotic. But I don't think that temperaments are. I see there are people with leadership skills. There are people that have more followers. At the end of the day, you could be a follower of every fucking amazing thing in the world. You could be a Buddhist, you're a follower, you're following Buddha. You could be a Christian, you're following God. You can be a follower of so many great things. So being a follower isn't really an issue. It's like, what is it that you're following? What is it that's guiding you? So I think that many of you can discern that I am of more sound mind now than I have been in the past. I've been through a lot of struggles, and yeah, like I've been targeted. I've had people try to say that I'm incompetent, that I'm not a good mother, that I'm not capable of like living a natural life, and I've proven them wrong time and time again. You know, there was a sad time where I even believed all the gaslighting and all those things, but I've overcome that. You know, and I've actually went to therapy in a place that's considered the worst place to get mental health, like care. I lived in South Carolina for a very long time. I went to Hillcrest therapy, like it's called Hillcrest. It's in South Carolina. It's really good quality therapy. You could do online or in person. I did both. I did the online with two people. Well, actually, no, with one person who had multiple children and was a little bit older than me, and a married woman, and was really good support, someone I can vent to. But also I had to go through the evaluation where clinical psychiatrists, they look at these different tests and how the clinical therapists score you. And I was labeled with anxiety and PTSD, nothing else, and mild depression. I wasn't labeled with like anything other than that. And this was in the state of South Carolina. They certainly do like scrutinize people in red states more. I think there's a stigma with mental health. I think that sometimes it can be a struggle to get quality care. I just happen to be blessed and I got it. But with that being said, I used to be in a place where I was afraid and I was I didn't trust the medical field and like, especially when it came to psychology. And I've overcome that, and I've jumped on top of my health, where I've become very proactive and like a person that is working spiritually and mentally to be a better person. And here's the thing. When it comes to your mental health, when it comes to how intelligent you are, so like, you know, when it comes to your intellect, your spirituality and your spiritual discipline still triumphs that. I have seen people who are very, very intelligent, and someone who obviously doesn't have nowhere near the credentials that this person has topples their whole world. And they're no longer they're no longer of sound mind. And I'm like, you're like one of the most intelligent people in the world, and yet this person that doesn't even have all the qualities that you have is occupying so much in your headspace. So that is a spiritual thing. So that's why I, even today, with all of the things that I have experienced in my own life, with going through a divorce, with, you know, leaving my home, leaving my work, having to rebuild, finding new things, like it's all been more of a spiritual experience. And it will always be. I will say this. I've become more stubborn, which I don't like. I've become more of maybe a bit of a hard ass. Like, not really. I still like very like when it like I have a complex relationship with the Creator, but I've become a bit of a hard ass when it comes to dogma and tradition, because people have distorted scripture. They have distorted so many things that, I mean, it's broken. I've had my heart broken multiple times because of the type of intrusion that dark entities have. You know, in these spaces, these sacred spaces that are where people are supposed to go to connect with spirit, and they're judged and they're mistreated and they're abused and they're used and exploited in spaces where they should not be. I've witnessed that. That's why I'm a bit of a target too, because I speak out about it. But I've witnessed that. It has broken my heart, but it also made me a bit of a hard ass. So I'm a bit critical of overly religious people, which I don't necessarily like, because that's not entirely my nature. Like, I'm more like free spirit, live and let live. But I have PTSD and I have to work it out. It's not like, oh, I have PTSD, I'll go to a few therapy sessions and everything's fantastical. That's not the case. But it's not so high where I'm unable to work or where I'm deemed disabled. I'm able to function, obviously. You can see I'm able to have a pretty normal conversation on camera. It took a lot. It takes a lot for a person to not only be vulnerable and talk about their hardships on camera, but to also be confident and look directly in the camera and speak. That took me a long time. So while I have PTSD, it's manageable. It's not that extreme. And even I've seen people with really bad PTSD or CPTSD from narcissistic abuse come out and be really strong, powerful, and peaceful people. So I know what I need to work on. I have all of the sources, and I've gotten all the support, and I've gotten the help through the therapy places that I've gone to and the spiritual spaces that I've occupied. And there's some people who I can always reach out to, therapists, licensed psychologists, caseworkers, and even clergy people, believe it or not, who I can reach out to today, even though I'm not a member of a church, even though I'm not necessarily in the state of South Carolina. I can still reach out to them today and get advice, get help, get support. It's a blessing. I've had very hard, intense conversations with my next of kin, with my family members, because in my community, I don't think people really always take therapy so seriously. And also, I feel like because I'm eccentric, which is a thing, I'm, the people who are eccentric in the Black community, we're rare, but we exist. Some people think that there's more going on than what there is. And really what is happening is that there's a culture shift, and it's a beautiful thing. But whenever there's some type of cultural shift or change with any community, there's always pushback. Well, I've dealt with that firsthand. It has nothing to do with anything other than people not being comfortable around individuals that are different.